All right, guys, we are here for another episode of Shellonomics. We're talking comic book crossovers. So, the TMNT have been all over the place from 1984 to 2026. Today, we are breaking down 5 of these killer crossovers. So, we're here with Christian, our good friend, TMNTTALK, and Christian is a very, very knowledgeable and passionate comic book reader. If you guys are unaware, he does have his own podcast, and I would say almost 80% of his show is comic book because that's what the Turtles are known for. They're comics. So, Christian, when we're talking comic book crossovers, what in your mind makes for a good crossover?
In my opinion, a good crossover is to play with it, to give something that the fans want. You know, in the old times, most of the crossovers were, okay, there are two characters, we throw them together, we let them fight, then a big bad comes in and they have to work together to defeat this big bad. And that's not that cool anymore. You want to give do want to give it some flavor. You want to change it up. And this is what, like, for me, like the Power Rangers TMNT crossover, they are a very good example of that because they give exactly what the fans want. We want to see turtles become Power Rangers and ride in big robots to fight big monsters. That's what we want. That's what we get. That's where the fun is. And still, other crossovers do something completely different because they really change up the formula. Like, okay, they go through a portal and they land in their dimension. And some crossovers are like, no, these characters exist. They just exist in the same universe, and that's the way it is. Live with it. And then they give us, like, give us what we want, like the turtles interacting with these completely different characters. So, yeah, it's hard to say what is the perfect formula for a crossover. It's part of what you expect and what you want, and part surprise, like something that you did not know that you wanted, and then you give it, you get it. And I think that's the magic here.
That's how I agree. Well, and like we were talking before we went live, we hear this term cash grab. It's like, oh, hey, this is cool. It's going to be Ninja Turtles and He-Man. Just throw it all together and it'll work. It's like, no, the artists and the writers all take their time. They're very passionate with their projects. And we're going to get started right now with one of them. And we're going to go into Stranger Things. Now, I have not seen this show. I've heard of it. I know it's more up your alley in regards to like little spooky and thriller flavor here. It was pretty interesting going through this because this one takes place in the 80s. And we're going to have Christian break this one down for you in regards to why the Turtles are all seeing red once again. And I thought it was kind of cool seeing the Netflix logo in the comics when I was reading these. So, Christian, feel free to take it away and break down Turtles and Stranger Things.
Yeah, TMNT Stranger Things. First off, I've watched the show. I really like it. I can really recommend it. And I just imagine when you read it and you have not seen the show, you must have been a bit confused there with all these characters and what the hell is going on. I
Absolutely.
just think so.
Yes, I was like, wait a second, who are the... I mean, I knew it was in the... I'm like, okay, cool. It takes place in the 80s, which is why, and you'll explain to confirm why the Turtles are... They didn't lose their colors. They didn't have their colors back then. So... I thought that was really interesting because, again, if you guys haven't checked out our other episodes, we have covered every Batman crossover. We did the first Ghostbusters crossover, and we've done Power Rangers 1 and 2. So me and Christian's more familiar than I am because this is my first read for most of these, but we've done crossovers, and it's like, how do they make sure they keep it fresh? And all the ones we're going to break down, they are fresh because right here, it's not the color Turtles. We're going back into the 90s, 1980s, and... this one, I believe, takes place in 1985. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and it's all these little, kids, and I got kind of like a little Goonie vibes. It's like a lot of youngsters here. So feel free. I guess you know what, if you don't mind, since you've seen this show, feel free to explain what Stranger Things is, and then we can break into the crossover because there are people probably like myself who are diehard Turtle fans, and it's like. Like how you always say, I'm there for it. It's Turtles. Let me give it a try. So, what is Stranger Things?
Well, Stranger Things was a show on Netflix that ran for 5 seasons. That was about these kids in the 80s. And yeah, you're completely right. It really it's like this Goonies vibe, this 80s kids movies vibe, with a little bit of horror, with a little bit of mystery there, because there are this group of kids, and the story starts with one of the kids disappearing, and then another kid, a new kid, appears, and she's got mystic powers. She's got like these telekinetic, telepathic powers, and so they try to find out, okay, where did our friend disappear to? Because then suddenly some kind of weird creatures from another dimension appear. And where does the little woman who they call 11, or who is called 11, comes from? And so this is the whole start of it, but of course it gets really big. There's a big story behind it with this other dimension called the Upside Down. And yeah, don't want to spoil it too much if some out there still want to check it out. But in my opinion, I can really recommend it. It's a really well done show, really entertaining. It really gets this 80s feeling, like as you said, Goonies or other shows of that style in the 80s. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
And it just ended too, right? I think people were talking about the show. Didn't it just finish? Okay, so there you go. So now it's actually a perfect time for someone like myself to get into it, because now if you want to binge, go ahead, take an all-you-can-eat Stranger Things buffet, because you get all the episodes. You don't have to wait anymore.
Absolutely.
All right, and now here we go, my guy.
Okay, so we get into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Stranger Things crossover comic series by IDW Comics, which, in my opinion, was one of the biggest surprises because I did not see this one coming. I mean, before that, we got these action figures, these crossover action figures, where I was really, where does this come from suddenly? I was a bit confused, but I was like, okay, funny. I mean, we also get the Cobra Kai TMNT crossover figures, and I'm still waiting for that crossover comic, dudes.
Yes.
So that would be pretty interesting. So yeah, but then we really it was in 2023, we got a 4-part miniseries, a crossover series, that takes place between season 2 and season three of Stranger Things. And as you said, it takes place in 1985. So the turtles that we meet there, that the kids meet the turtles in New York, and these are the Mirage Comics turtles, the red bandana turtles. Because 1985, there were no other turtles. The cartoon didn't start until 1987, and so on and so forth. So this was in my opinion, one of the smartest moves that they could make, because it really delivers this 80s vibe here with the classic turtles. And it could really fit into the whole canon of the Mirage comics, because in the story, as I said, the kids from Stranger Things, they come to New York for a field trip, and there they run into the turtles, and they run also into some creatures like the Demogorgons that they know from their own show, but also creatures like the Demo-Mousers, which was a really cool concept, with like this Mousers, Baxter Stockman's Mousers, who are like fused with these demon creatures from the Upside Down. And and there's also Baxter in here, also the Baxter from the Mirage comics, who tries to get to 11, who I said is this kid with the telepathic powers, and she to use her to open a rift to the Upside Down. But with the help of the turtles, they get her out. And then one of the biggest surprises is that in the story, the Utroms also appear, because it turns out that the Utroms were the ones who opened a rift in New York City. Because normally, Stranger Things takes place in a little town called Hawkins. And it was unusual that these creatures also appeared in New York. So they found out that the Utroms, they were like infected by the Mind Flayer, who is this gigantic creature that's able to control people. And through this, they opened a portal to the Upside Down. So Turtles and the kids teamed up with Casey and April. They are also in there to fight the creatures, to fight the Demogorgons and the Demo-Mousers and all these wild creatures, to be able to close the portal. And it's really wild. And in the end, they are able to do so. And yeah, the kids, they're like, okay, we're off. The show is over. We're off. And hey, maybe Turtles, next time you come visit our place, Hawkins. So maybe, maybe a second crossover is in the cards. Who knows? But yeah, this, in my opinion, was one of the biggest surprises because I did not know what to expect from this crossover. But the art is just so good. The artist is Pharaoh Pay, and he really is like doing the turtles in the Mirage comic style, and it really shows. I really love the art. I was really surprised by the story. I did not know what to expect, but I had fun with the story. It was cool that it really takes place in the 80s and so on and so forth. So um, one of the biggest surprises there, I gotta say, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, as someone who knows the show, who knows the turtles, this really worked.
I agree. I enjoyed reading it, especially like you said. I didn't know everything going on. I enjoyed the grittier look. It was nice because again, this was, I guess in the Turtles Forever they call it Turtles Prime. This is I don't know. I guess you can call it Turtles Prime because this is where they started. It was nice seeing Baxter Stockman more involved compared to the Shredders, which is again where these these crossovers try to put a lot of effort into their writing, where it doesn't feel like it's like you said, let's just do a big fight with everybody, and then we all turn into one big happy family. We fight Shredder, we fight our main villain in our series, and we all go home. What I did want to talk about, though, is can you explain this? Because I did put in my notes. Raphael gives somebody a bandana like you earned this. Can you explain a little more on that spot? I don't know if that's related to the show or just this bandana Raphael was talking about.
I thought that was really a fun little moment where Eleven got the bandana from Raphael because, as you said, Raphael says, "Hey, kids, you're a fighter. You're in there with us. You're fighting with us. You really deserve it." And she is really, you really get the feeling that she's proud of it. And I don't think, or I don't know, there's a relation to the show or anything.
Okay.
I think it's just a moment to show that she really is a fighter. If you watch the show, she went through a lot. Uh, and she really deserved this, to be a part of this group, to be a fighter, to fight alongside the turtles. And I think that was just to show that she can be proud of being a fighter and being with the turtles, and don't be afraid. And I think that's just to emphasize that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, that is our first of 5 in this show here today, guys. Now we're gonna stay in the 80s a little bit here because there's a lot, Turtles were in the 80s. Another very popular TV show before the Turtles came out in the 80s, and that was I Have the Power with He-Man. So let's talk a little bit about He-Man here. Did you watch the show growing up? For me personally, I think it was before my time. I was born in 84, so I'm familiar with He-Man. I watch the Christmas special every year because there's a funny part in there with Skeletor where he rescues these 2 little kids and he wants to know what Christmas is all about, and he's like, you mean they get into fights? And he's like, no, they don't get into fights, but he's like, I like fights. So there's some comedic spots there. They also have like the almost like Captain Planet at the end of the show. Hey guys, kids today, pick up your trash and make sure you say hi to mom and dad, or just like a little like pick me up at the end. And there's also a really cool documentary. I got to learn more about this in regards to the action figures in the TV show. So feel free to explain what He-Man was to you growing up, and for those who don't know anything about Mr. Adam over here.
Well, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is a show that I did not get into that much. Yes, I watched it from time to time. I've seen some of it, but it was not like the Turtles or like the Ghostbusters, real Ghostbusters. These were the shows that I really enjoyed, that I tried to catch every time. And He-Man was like, okay, is it on? Yeah, maybe I watch it a bit, or I never really got into it. I watched it here and there. I also watched the newer stuff that's on Netflix, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool, but it was never a show that I really got that much into. I know the main characters, I know what they're about, and so on and so forth, but it's not one of these shows that I have big nostalgic feelings for. But yeah, still when the turtles, like the Turtles of Grayskull action figures came out, I got some of them, and I think they're really cool. I like them, and also this, I also gotta say about this comic crossover that it surprised me. Yeah, I said it about the Stranger Things crossovers, but it's the same here. It's not what I expected, to be honest. Yeah.
No, that's how I felt too. There's a lot of I don't want to say there's anything really bad in here because it was just like they wanted to throw almost everybody in here. You're going to see a lot of cameos that Christian will point out. I enjoyed one spoiler. I like seeing the neutrinos. I'm not going to spoil anybody else, but I thought it was great seeing them because I think they kind of mesh well in the He-Man world. So I think they were very not picky, but very looking for the word. I guess just I guess people would just say like they're trying to make sure that they pick the right characters for each scenario. So feel free to break down this one. And real quick too, a lot of these were a little bit shorter because I think the Batman issues, I want to say there were 6 parts, and a lot of these for 4. So did you feel any of these other crossovers that we're going to talk about felt rushed because there were only 4 issues compared to the 5 and 6 like the other ones we covered?
With some of them, I think they could have done a little bit more. For example, where we're going with the Naruto crossover, I think they could have done a little bit more there. But still, I don't think I would say that it felt rushed. I think they had this idea for this miniseries, and they said, here we have this story, and they're like, okay, we can tell it in 4 parts. And I think it's a really good decision that they're not like the producers or the people behind it are not like, okay, we're gonna stretch it out to make it 5. So if you're like, okay, I have an idea for 4 parts, make it 4 parts. That's totally cool. That's totally fine. And I think that's where they went with this. As you said, the TMNT Batman crossovers, they had like 5 or 6 issues even. And it was totally fine because it really deserved the extra mile for the story. But like here with some stories, I mean, with the Turtles of Grayskull story, I really think it's got a start, it's got a middle part, it's got a finish. So with 4 issues, it's done, and I was totally fine with it. With some others, as I said, with the Naruto crossover, I think like, okay, maybe one more issue could have really helped the story. Not that it was bad or anything, that it felt rushed or anything, but it's like a little bit more story here. But yeah, maybe that's just a start for some of them. But yeah, that's I guess my opinion here.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how I felt. It would have been nice to see a little bit more, but like you say, if that's all they have, you don't want it to drag out. But I felt they could have maybe stretched this out to 5 just because I wanted to know a little more as to why all these characters were around here. But anywho, feel free to break down the Turtles of Grayskull.
Yeah, that's the one that's a little bit hard because, okay, these turtles here, they are not based on any universe, or they're not canon to any universe. They are their own thing. I mean, you get really the feeling that they're inspired by the IDW turtles, just like the Batman TMNT turtles were. But it's their own thing. You don't have to think too hard about canon or anything. So the turtles in this story, it starts off with the turtles. They are already on Eternia, the planet where He-Man lives, and there's a big battle where, like, as you said, like everyone is in there, all the bad guys, all the good guys, they all come together to fight in a big battle. And then like the bad guys, Skeletor and Shredder, they're working together, and Krang is also there, and they have fused the Mutation with magic by Skeletor, and with this they were able to turn He-Man into a giant purple Hulk-like He-Man that goes wild and pretty much kills everyone. Everyone gets killed. The good guys, the bad guys, doesn't matter because like He-Man just goes on a rampage. Then the big surprise here for me was Renette comes in. The time traveler, Renette, comes in and she's like, I cannot let this happen. She goes back in time to stop this from happening. And then she finds the turtles and He-Man in the Triceraton arena. Suddenly, we're at the arena. The Triceratons are there. The turtles are there fighting. And He-Man also comes in. There's a big fight. And yeah, so they leave together and they talk about, hey, how did we get here? And as you said, there are some wild cameos there. The neutrinos are mentioned, Lord Drag is mentioned, the malignoids. Like really, for this one, they like throw in everything. So the turtles, they go to Eternia. He-Man goes to New York, where he runs into Bebop and Rocksteady, and Casey is also there. Meanwhile, Renette travels back in further in time, back to ancient, not ancient, but back to old times Japan, where Hamato Yoshi and Orokusaki are. And there's another, she finds out about another student who is the one, as it turns out, responsible for all this craziness that's connecting the turtles to He-Man that will, in the end, be the reason for their destruction. And that is a character from Masters of the Universe, a bad guy called Ninjor, who is able with a time scepter to cause all this time craziness. And so once again, in the end, they all get together to stop him. He mutates himself into a giant dragon. And the turtles and the Master of the Universe, they work together to stop him. And April even gets the power from the sorceress and gets like this fusion between April and the sorceress. And they are able to defeat Ninjor. And so they don't have to die. The bad guys, the good guys, they don't have to die. And everyone goes back to their own world. And well, in the end, Renette is like, so maybe in the future there are some other adventures. We will see. And yeah, maybe we will see like the second crossover. Who knows? Who knows nowadays? So yeah.
It seems like that's what they want to do with all of these, and unless they get a complete trilogy, is the way it seems, because they want to keep the door open. It's almost like those ending credit scenes you see in a Marvel movie where it's like, well, it's over, but maybe the door's still open, so something like that. How did you like the Saki Yoshi fight in this one? I thought that was pretty cool in issue 3.
Yeah, as I said, it was absolutely not what I expected. It was cool to that they went back to that time. It's always entertaining and always interesting to see Hamato Yoshi and Orokusaki before they became who they are nowadays, and like before he was the Shredder, and when they were still friends, you know. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed these little moments. And once again, I gotta say, the people behind this comic, they really did their homework with all these callbacks and all these things. Like, I totally did not expect to see Renette or the Triceratons in this whole story. But yeah, as I said, the people behind it, they really knew what they were doing. They really wanted to tell a wild story. And yeah, they really went for it. It's one really crazy story, I gotta say.
Yeah, and how did you like Mikey with hair? Last question on this.
I have the action figure. I have the action figure of Mikey with a blonde wig, and I freaking love it. It's fantastic. It's so Mikey.
Oh, did you think he was gonna get the powers too? I was like, come on, just like for a quick second, you know? Like
yeah. Yeah, when he got the sword, I really thought for a moment he will like turn into He-Man Mikey for a moment, but yeah, not this time, Mikey. Not this time.
Hey, you know, Avengers Doomsday is coming out later this year. There was that tease where Captain America almost touched Thor's hammer, and then in Endgame he got to use it. So let's not give up hope. I'm going to make a prediction that I'll go on the record here. If we get to a trilogy of Turtles and Grayskull, Mikey will definitely have the power, and we'll leave it at that. It would be great.
Hey, I would be totally for it. Yeah,
exactly. All right, well, we're going to stay in the 80s here, but this one came out, and I believe it was 2017. If you guys are interested, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel or Spotify for earlier podcasts of Shellonomics with our good friend Christian here, and we broke down the first Ghostbusters crossover, And it's pretty funny because if you guys go back, I was listening to that. We were just wanted to make sure we're not double dipping into anything. And we ended it with a cool question, which is going to be a little smidge of what actually happens in this new series. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if, either Creepy Eddie or Shibano Sama would find a way into this universe? And we're like, ooh, that's actually a cool point. So Christian was very, very cool with me not playing spoiler at the time, which I'm very thankful because I'm pretty sure you read this by the time we did that podcast. So thank you very much for, I guess, holding your breath. But were you excited for this one? Because I really enjoyed Tom Waltz's writing a lot.
Oh, absolutely. I was a big fan of the first crossover, and I gotta say, with the second crossover, you really get the feeling like, okay, in this first crossover, we now know these characters, they interacted with each other, they know each other, and now they can go on a wild and crazy adventure. And that's exactly what they do with this. And yeah, it's really so enjoyable because I gotta say, like in this story, the Turtles and the Ghostbusters, they go to different dimensions, to different worlds, and it's all drawn in different styles. So you get all these artists in there drawing all the turtles. Like when they're in a different world, it's a completely different art style, and I really enjoy it when they do stuff like this. And yeah, totally enjoyed it. Little spoiler there. So far, it looks like that there will be not a third crossover in the near future because IDW Comics does not have the rights to the Ghostbusters anymore. But hey, who knows? Who knows what will happen in the future? Maybe something will. And yeah, but for now, this was the last crossover between the Turtles and the Ghostbusters. And I gotta say, I'm really thankful that we got a second one here.
Oh yeah, feel free to break it down in a few moments. Just some cool Easter eggs again, just because these guys. So I don't know if you usually kind of see where I'm going. I kind of felt just the way they were writing this, and I talked about, I think in your Discord too, it was almost like the Archie adventures, because there's a little bit of touch of spirituality when it comes to other realms with ghosts and just little things like that, and then just the cool Easter eggs. I mean, Christian will probably point this out too as he breaks it down, but we get to see, just for fun, because this is more in the 80s with the Ghostbusters, there's 2 arcades in the back. One is Ghostbusters, and one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 for the NES, which was not the arcade. It was, it was the port for our home consoles, and you look, and you can see the drawing. I'm like, hey, I know that level. I know that first level in April's apartment. So just little cool Easter eggs like that, and then a little more at I was very shocked to see who the main villain was going to be too. I'm like, DD, I know that. I'm pretty sure me and Christian talked about this character. It's like, why? It's on the tip of my tongue. Who is this guy? And it's like, then it finally came to me. So feel free to break down TMNT Ghostbusters crossover number 2.
Yeah, with this crossover, 5-part crossover, gotta start with as we said, with the bad guy. Who's the main bad guy there? And that's none other than Darius Dunn. This story takes place after issue 50. A little spoiler there for the IDW run, because Splinter took over the Foot Clan for a while there, and Darius Dunn was a bad guy who confronted Splinter's Foot Clan, and so Darius Dunn was killed by an assassin, and that was ordered by Splinter. So, and here we have Darius Dunn as a ghost now, and he still wants to get revenge for what happened to him. So that's the main plot there. He goes after the Turtles, and for this, he teamed up with a group called the Collectors, who are these ghost creatures that are like the other side version of the Ghostbusters, but instead of ghosts, they hunt people or human-like creatures. So they go after turtles, and for this, the Turtles once again team up with the Ghostbusters to escape from the Collectors. And for this, they go to all these different worlds. They split up, each turtle goes with one Ghostbuster, and so they go to all these different worlds. We get a world that looks like the classic cartoon, where yes, we see a ghost that looks very much like Shiba no Sama, and then they go to like this Viking place where they have to fight Viking ghosts, and like Mikey goes to a world that's inhabited by animal people, where we also get once again some funny little cameos in the background. Like I think there's a character that looks like Banda Can in the background, or April as a cat mutant, and so on and so forth. And there they run into these ghost busting turtles, who are like these turtle creatures that are Ghostbusters. And it's wild. It's really, really wild. I really enjoyed this, like this dimension hopping with all these different art styles. And yeah, I mean, like Leonardo goes to a world where, like some kind of post-apocalyptic world, where they run into a version of the punk frogs, it seems. It's really cool. It's really great. And one of the most interesting little Easter eggs there, I gotta say, is that near the end, the collectors, when they confront the turtles, they change their form and they start to look like the Dark Turtles from the Fast Forward season from 2003 show. There's like nice little callback there. And one of the most emotional scenes, I gotta say, is when the turtles near the end with the Ghostbusters go like through the afterlife, where they meet Tang Shen, who is the turtles' mother, because the turtles, they were reincarnated in ancient Japan, and here they are finally able to meet their mother, who is in the afterlife. She's dead, and they're able to meet her, and it's a very emotional moment. I really, really like this. And so, yeah, Turtles and Ghostbusters with some Ghostbuster ninja weapons that Donatello and Egan were able to create, are able to fight the collectors, are fight to Abel, Darius Dunn, and are able to defeat them in the end. So it's really fun. It's really cool adventure. And yeah, gotta say, once again, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yep, they brought the house down, and the multiverse. I wanted to ask you this, Christian, too, because this was before, everybody. Multiverse has been around in comics for, decades before all these movies and Doctor Strange and Loki and everyone playing around. So, how do you make sure you don't overkill the multiverses? Because we talked about Batman 3, and they had Turtle Multiverse. If you remember, they had, like, older turtles and whatnot. Currently, there's like a Battle Nexus, big turtle crossover in the Saturday Morning Adventures. There's one I'm sure you've covered on your podcast already with Mr. Og, and there was like a little crossover there with all the old turtles. So I guess, you're not the writer, but just how do you, as a fan, like, are they doing it right? Are they picking and choosing their spots right with the multiverse by not over saturating it, so to speak?
With the turtles nowadays, I gotta say, yes. So far, they have not overdone it. Like in a lot of shows, a lot of movies, like it's the multiverse is like pretty much everywhere, and some are really well done, some are really entertaining, and some are like just like, oh, show us cameos, like, oh, we bring back like this character that you loved, see him. And but with the turtles, I mean, currently, as you said, the Battle Nexus story, the turtles run into enemies new and old from old times. Like in the first issue, the black and white Shredder appears, and it's like, in my opinion, they're not overdoing it. It's like, I really enjoy this, and I really like, okay, I like this when they like bring these characters in that I know already, and like give them one more little moment to shine. And so far, I'm really enjoying this. As you said, like there's this in the Battle Nexus comic, in the first one, there's this backup story with Mr. Orc, who brings all these different turtles together, and there's one panel where we see all different Raphaels. And I was just looking at this for minutes and minutes, because I was checking, okay, this is Raphael from Next Mutation, this is 2007, this is 2003. And so, okay, who are all these different turtles? And this is what I enjoy. It's like a trip down memory lane for me. With the Turtles, I'm really there for it. I'm really liking it so far. And if they like every other year they throw in like a little cameo crossover event or anything like this, I'm totally fine with this. It's not like they're doing it in every other comic. So cool so far. I'm enjoying it the way they do it right now.
And that's how I feel too, because we're breaking down 5 of these in one show, and these are all spread out because if you know, we're going to talk about Baxter Stockman again, another crossover, and it's like, oh, him again? It's like, well, again, it's been a couple years, so it's not like it's just like, hey, every month Baxter returns and not Shredder. So to wrap this up for the Ghostbusters, though, again, just I really enjoy the Easter eggs that these guys put into these comics, and I want to say they're not that hard to find. Like with the Turtle Ghost we were talking about, you know, the names, Bill, Dan, Welker. Those are all Ghostbusters right there, guys. Frank Welker voiced the Ghostbuster in the OG Real Ghostbusters. Bill for Bill Murray. Dan for Dan Aykroyd. Just, you know, what's, I guess, again, it's I don't want to put you on the spot here, but if you had to pick, like, maybe one favorite Easter egg so far that we've talked about, you know, like, or cameo, which one is it? For me, it was just this year with the names of the Ghostbusters in the Ghostbusters show. And seeing the Turtles 2 arcade. I thought that was great.
Yeah, with the names, that was really smart, and it's really for the fans there. These are the things that I really like. But as I mentioned before, I really thought that it was really cool that the collectors, they looked like the Dark Turtles from the Fast Forward season, because I always liked their design of the Dark Turtles, and to see them here, like even just for a moment there, that was like, that's nice. I like that little callback there. That was my real. I gotta say that was my favorite one in this crossover.
Yep, no, that was a good one as well. So now we're going to go into a realm that I am not familiar with, but they really pushed a lot of merchandise with this crossover, especially at Box Lunch. Naruto and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's everywhere. There were shirts. It wasn't just the comics with this. So, you know, maybe we will get, maybe a fan is going to make a fan-made video game. There's tons of them out there with multiverses and stuff. So before we get into this one, Christian, can you explain what Naruto is? I know the character, but I don't really know the story.
Yeah, Naruto is an anime that I watched. So yeah, I can say a little bit about it. I watched all, like, 700 episodes of it. And so yeah, this is a story about the main character, who is Naruto. They're living in this world where like in this ninja world, there are like ninjas who have all these ninja powers. Like they can use like energy attacks and so on and so forth. You know, typical anime style. And Naruto is this little kid who has a creature in his sealed in his body that could like destroy everything. And he was always an outsider in his world. Nobody wanted to play with him, and so he finally decided that he wanted to prove to everyone that he can be the best ninja out there. He wants his big plan is that he wants to be Hokage, who is the leader of their village, so that he can like prove himself and protect everyone. And so during the story, there are bad guys appearing, and the evil ninjas that have to be fought, and there are big fights, big really cool fights in Naruto. So it's a big shonen anime style action show that's really cool and has some really good emotional moments too. So yeah, so that's pretty much the whole thing, like a little breakdown. It's an action show with ninjas in this ninja world that fight each other. That's pretty much it, I guess.
Okay, and like in most animes that are successful, I'm guessing it does have tons and tons of episodes, like you just said. So,
yeah.
My question is, was this made by Nickelodeon or no? Was this?
The anime. So it was original a manga,
Okay.
and yeah, it was created in Japan. So it was really a real anime, which is even more surprising that they were
Hmm.
able to do a TMNT comic crossover with them. That was like, okay, so they had to like talk to the guys from Japan so that they were able to do this, because as I said, it was originally a manga, not a comic
Wow.
book.
Okay.
So yeah, that was one of the biggest surprises there for me.
Yeah, because that's what at the end of the show we're going to have three that I'll do one now because I was going to ask you like what other crossovers you'd like to see, and one I think would be great is because Nick already made this show is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was a generation too old for that show, but I know a lot of people love that Avatar show, the cartoon that was on Nick. So I think that would be a great crossover. So I wasn't sure where Naruto came from. But anyways, my dude, feel free to break this one down. I know you were very excited for this one, because I think this is when I first started talking to you, because this one is actually fairly new, the Naruto one, isn't it?
Yeah, that came out in 2024. So just like, yeah, a year ago. So yeah, first off, the interesting thing here is that not the turtles like come through a portal and land in Naruto's world. No, the turtles already exist in this world. And let me tell you this: this is not the wildest thing that happened in Naruto's world. I mean, there were episodes where like dinosaurs appeared and so on and so forth. So
Oh, damn.
yeah,
Okay.
turtles, no surprise there. So yeah. Here the story is that it starts with April, who is like this young reporter from a place called Big Apple Village, because in the Naruto's world there are all these villages, and one of them is apparently Big Apple Village, including a little Statue of Liberty ninja style in the middle of it. That was a nice little Easter egg there. And yeah, Team 7, who are like the main characters of the Naruto show, who are Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and their leader Kakashi. They are escorting April to her home village, but there they run into the Foot Clan, and then they run into the Turtles and Splinter. And gotta say, really like the art style there, how Splinter and the Turtles looked. I really liked how they like had this ninja masks first, like this Anbu mask, because in the Naruto world, Anbu are like this mystery ninjas who are always wearing this mask. That was a nice little thing that I enjoyed. And yeah, we find out that Baxter Stockman is also someone who exists in this world, and he created a mutagen. That was the reason that the Turtles and Splinter were created. And also one member of the Foot Clan who is Alopex. So Alopex from the IDW comics also exists in this universe. That was also that I really enjoyed too, that she's there. And yeah, the Shredder wants to get his hands on the mutagen, and it turns out that then he kidnaps Splinter and April, while the Turtles and the other ninjas, Team 7, they are hanging out. So they team up and are to rescue April and Splinter, but Shredder gets his hands on the mutagen. First off, he turns some foot ninja into mutants, they get some like body armor creatures, and the Turtles and Naruto and company, they have to fight them. And when they are defeated, Shredder is going the Super Shredder route and mutates himself into like a super mutant Shredder. And so once again, big fights there where the Turtles and Team 7, they team up and using all their techniques. And in the end, they use the half shell Rasengan Spiral Sphere to defeat the Shredder. And then they have a big pizza party. And yeah, that's the end of this story. And once again, as I said before, I would really like to see more of this world. I want to see more of this crossover. So I would really enjoy a second part here, because if you know Naruto, there are a lot of characters that they could put in there, and I would really enjoy this. like come back to this world one way or another.
When you we also had the fun little, the cool Easter egg ninja rap and Naruto yells Cowabunga. So, does this touch your inner child when you hear, like, Power Rangers and Turtles, it's morphin' time? The Turtles in Grayskull did the Turtles of Grayskull power, like battle cry. Does that just get you so excited? It's like, again, because they picked the perfect moment for these, like, battle cries where they combine both universes.
Yeah, I mean, it's been some years since I've watched Naruto, but when like the characters use their like the trademark moves, like Naruto is having like this Rasengan move, or Sasuke uses the Jidori. This is like, oh yeah, I know this, and I've seen this. It really brings me back to like 20 years ago when I started watching Naruto. So yeah, it makes me feel young again, which is a good thing nowadays.
Yes, nothing like a little splash of Fountain of Youth. One other question I had, just because kind of like Stranger Things with the bandana, I'm was just not in the knowing of this realm. So when they do like that, the little fight, like they usually have that opening battle where they fight each other. Leonardo was fighting, like, is that the real leader? It's not, Naruto's not the leader, because remember in that like first issue or second issue, they were kind of having that skirmish. He's like, how do you know I'm the leader? There was like some sort of playoff like that. Was the Leo Sense the right leader then?
I think he was fighting Sasuke, if I remember. Yeah, Sasuke, if I remember correctly.
I think so. And
no, he was wrong about that. Kakashi is the one who mostly see with just one eye. He is the teacher of the kids, so they are the three kids, and he should be he is the leader of this team. But the thing is that Sasuke is like this grooming, serious, broody, serious guy. So I guess that's the reason why Leo thought that he was the leader, because Naruto is always fooling around, and so I think that's the reason here.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I like to, again, what we always, Mr. Sensitivity over here with his Michelangelo. They did a good job so far. I have no, moaning and groaning about Mikey and all these. He has fun. Even in the He-Man ones, like, hey, you guys ready for the Mikey show? He kind of just like fangirls or fanboys and all these. You can just tell he loves these crossovers just as much as we do. So we've got one more to go, dude. We have crushed 5, and it'll be just about a little over an hour, I think, when we're done here. So this one was awesome for me because I loved playing Street Fighter as a kid. I guess before we get into that, Christian, are you familiar with Street Fighter? Because Street Fighter 2, again, apparently that game just, my buddy always joked, they didn't learn how to count. They had, 2, Turbo, Hyper Fight, everything stayed in 2. So how familiar are you with the Street Fighter original core characters?
Oh yeah, of course I know Street Fighter. I like Street Fighter. I've played some of the games. Not that I'm good at these beat 'em ups, but I always enjoy playing them. And yeah, of course I know the main characters like Ken, Ryu, Chun-Li, Guile, Blanca, Vega. I know the main characters. And yeah, so this was another crossover that I was really looking forward to, because hey, martial arts fighters coming together with the Turtles, so of course that's cool.
Oh yeah, this one I could even talk a little bit more, just because I was very goo goo gaga for this. I love the alternate comic covers. I mean, did you like that too? Just seeing the HP and the health bars.
Oh yeah, those were amazing. Like there's one of the covers where they have like this combo moves shown on the cover for like the Hadouken or something. Just these little things here those were awesome.
Yeah, I had a great time reading these. So feel free to break this down, because we've got some matchups here that I don't know if they like did a poll or asked anybody if they wanted, but I gotta say, I think they actually had everybody fight who I would have probably put them up against too in this one.
Yeah, that was an interesting story, because at first I thought that this crossover story is gonna be canon to the Turtles universe, because like even Janica is in there from the IDW comics. And yeah, Baxter is also in there, and Baxter is teaming up with Bison. And they are there's like this tournament, this martial arts tournament where the turtles fight like other martial artists, including the Street Fighter characters Ken, Ryu, Guile, and Chun-Li. And in this crossover, I especially love the moments between Mikey and Chun-Li. They're just a match made in heaven. I really enjoyed this at first because Chun-Li is like, you're a weird little guy, but in the end, she's like, hey, you're a weird little guy, but I like you. So this was, they had a nice little relationship there. And yeah, as I said, the story is that Baxter Stockman and Bison, they team up and they are having this tournament to get their hands on strong martial artists because they want to use like get like a psychic power, psycho energy from them to create a psycho energy bomb. Um, and when the turtles and the Street Fighter characters find out about this, they of course want to stop them. And yeah, so like there's of course this whole team up against the bad guys and their fighters, and then we find out that one of the fighters that they already caught is even the Shredder. So he's also in there, and Shredder is the Shredder, so he's not like, yeah, I'm gonna play along with you. He's like, no, I'm gonna do my own thing. So he interferes with everyone. It really goes crazy. And as they free all these other characters who were captured, my favorite cameo in this is when suddenly one out of the chambers hops none other than Pete, Pitch and Pete. Love it. And so yeah, they fight like Bison and Shredder. They have a little fight, and the turtles, they want to stop the psycho bomb. So Rev is manipulating the bomb and is absorbing the psycho energy into himself, and it becomes like this big ravaging psycho power. Rev goes wild Hulk style. But yeah, he's also able to overcome this in the end, and the bad guys are stopped. The bomb does not go off, and yeah, the turtles and the Street Fighter guys, they are fine with each other. They're cool with each other, and yeah, that's pretty cool. It was fun martial arts story. One thing I gotta say is what I really missed in this. I mean, we only got as the main characters, as I said, we got Ryu, Guile, Ken, and Chun-Li. And we know that there are many more characters in the Street Fighter universe. So maybe in the next crossover, fingers crossed, we will see some other characters. Would really love that. And one thing that I really think that I really missed here is that there were no not or at least not a lot of like special attacks from Street Fighter characters. We did not get one Hadouken, not one Shoryuken, nothing like this. Come on, I really missed this. But besides that, it was a really enjoyable story, and I had fun with it, gotta say.
I'm getting the very popular GIF that people use in Discord and Facebook, the Tom Hanks just wait, because I'm with you on a couple of these spots here. E Honda has always been my guy. My dad and I just love the big dude who can just hand slap crazy. He was not involved anywhere. We didn't really see Akuma anywhere. I would love to see an Akuma and Shredder battle. Yeah. I would have chills witnessing that and reading that and flipping page by page. But the good news is, if you guys do get the graphic novel, you can pick this up, on Amazon or Comixology if you want to read it. Page to page, cover to cover. They do at least have artwork of everybody in the back, which I liked. It was like, okay, that's cool. At least they, like you said, there's so many other characters here that we didn't get to see. Big fan of the Leonardo Ryu cover. I'd actually like to get that hung on my wall somewhere in my bedroom. It was just a match made in heaven. It's like, yeah, Raph could take on Ryu, but I'd rather have those two go at it. Just, the two true to their word, very integrity, they're honor bound, characters going at it. And I was getting nervous, man. I mean, because, again, we love Street Fighter, but hey, at the end of the day, we're both Team Turtle, and we were losing, dude. We got screwed with the referee in the Raphael Guile fight. Mikey was just too in love with Chun-Li. He didn't even want to attack her, so I was like, like, Mikey, come on. All right, you can, all right, okay, I see it. And then finally, Leonardo steps up. Were you getting nervous reading this? Because I was like, dude, we're 0-2 right now.
Yeah, you're completely right. Now that you say it, it's like when I read it the first time and I saw these fights, I was like, hey, come on, we are here. I mean, I am here mostly for the turtles, and they're losing. So I know the Street Fighter guys, they're good, but come on, the turtles, they are not bad either. So come on, cut them some slack.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, yes. And speaking of that, that's another Easter egg, guys. Guile does say cut him slack in the comics. So just little fun things like that me and Christian enjoy reading. So another thing I would like to see, again, with the Tom Hanks Just Wait, I really want to see, there are 4 Shadow Luke characters. You got Balrog, Bison, Vega, Sagat. 4 versus 4 for our turtles. I'm hoping that can happen in one of them. I'm going to go on record saying it will, but we've got to get there first. So... and I was also a fan of, like you say, randomly just seeing Pigeon Pete out of nowhere. Like you say, why the shell not? We've got all these other cameos. Anything you would have changed in regards to how the fighting worked? Because obviously you want the Turtles to win every fight, but we can't have that. We got to share the love. Otherwise, Street Fighter, and Capcom fans would be knocking at our door, making sure we call it both ways. So anything else you would have changed in regards to the matchups? Was there one you think you would have rather seen? Like maybe Dalsim versus Donatello or something?
I would have really liked to see Blanca in there. Just for Mikey's reaction when he sees like this green guy who can create electricity from his body or something like this. Like Mikey would have gone wild over this. And like, oh, this guy is cool. I want to fight him. I can totally see this. Or Cammy. I think Cammy would have been interesting for a little fight there. And as you said, Akuma. Akuma is one of my favorite Street Fighter characters. And to get him in there, I don't know, fight... Yeah, maybe the Shredder or Splinter or something like this. That would be cool because, yeah, as I said, Akuma, I just love him and he really should have been there. And just one thing that I just thought of, if there would be a second crossover and the Turtles team up with the Street Fighter characters, it would be so cool. Like, as I said, I was missing like this energy attacks or something like this here. And if they went there with like the second crossover and like train with the Turtles together and the Turtles were able to like use Hadoken or something, that would be too cool. I would so love this. So yeah, as I said, maybe nowadays you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, especially because didn't they learn some kind of powers in the 2003 show? I mean, I there was something, right? So it's possible.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. We want to see some Hadoukens because that's all we heard as kids. Hadouken, when the computer would kick our butts. So, oh man, dude, yeah, this is one of my favorite episodes. We'll probably do all year. Just all the love, all the crossovers. We're gonna have one fun question and one tough question. So we're gonna get the tough one out of the way. Like Mikey, again, you're picking my brain. Why, dude? Why? All right. So picture this: you have been given the honor to make a movie similar to the Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, from the comic to the screen. Of all the crossovers we've had, the ones we've covered today and the ones that are in our past, Ghostbusters #1, Power Rangers, we haven't touched Savage Dragon, but we will one day, Archie. Which one would you like to make into a movie? You can only pick one. I'm sorry, only one. But it could blossom if you do the right one, if it sells good.
If I had all the money, I can use all the money that I want, and I could have the thing that I want made out of one of these, I would go with the Naruto route. And I just imagine an anime movie. Last year we had the Demon Slayer movie, and it looked fantastic. And the same, this studio doing a TMNT Naruto crossover movie, big action scenes, energy, power attacks, and ninja moves with the Turtles and Naruto. I think I would go crazy. I would go crazy in theater, and this would be awesome. Like in modern anime style movie, I think that would just blow away everyone. And yeah, I think I would go this route. Yeah.
It's a very good one there. For me, I'm doing Power Rangers, and it's going to be, again, because we have all the money in the world right now, I'm going to get the voices, or the actors that are still, with us right now in 2026. Amy Jo, Austin St. John, David Yost, Walter Emmanuel Jones. They're going to voice the Power Rangers, and the OG cartoon is going to voice the Turtles in that one. I think that would be a lot of fun. So that's the one I'd like to see, and I'm really excited to actually I'll save that for the end then, because I can give you anybody who's made it this far, I'll give you guys a little treat. But the final fun question is, I'll go first. If you could pick 3 crossovers that have not happened that you'd like to see, which would they be? For me, we talked earlier, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think that would be pretty cool. That would actually get me to watch Airbender and appreciate more of those characters. You can actually fight with them in, I want to say it's Nick Brawl. I think some characters from Avatar and the OG TMNT are in there. I want TMNT Marvel, but we're going to be a little more specific with X-Men finally starting to trend back into the universe now. It took a long time because I don't think Disney, I could be wrong, had the rights to X-Men because that was more Fox. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X-Men makes sense. They're both mutants. They can relate to one another. I think that'd be great. And since we had the Ninja Turtles in Street Fighter, why not have the other big trending video game that was a fighter in the 90s, TMNT Mortal Kombat, the Lin Kuei and the Foot Clan. I'm there for that. Dude, what would be your 3?
Oh, that's hard. You've got some really good choices there. Oh, TMNT Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Make that a video game.
Yes.
I would
Yes.
and make it bloody. And
yes.
Bloody TMNT Mortal Kombat. Dude. Oh, that would take all my money. And yeah, I would also first off go with the Marvel route, because I would really enjoy the Turtles teaming up with Marvel. I mean, we already had DC with Batman, but Marvel, and I think I would mostly enjoy the Turtles teaming up with the more street level characters like Spider-Man, Daredevil. I mean, maybe throw in the Punisher or something would be very interesting, I think. I mean, Daredevil is like a no-brainer nowadays. I'm still surprised that it did not happen, that they were not able to do a TMNT Daredevil crossover. And yeah, throw in Spider-Man and other characters, Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. I think that would be so much fun. With just a rogues gallery of Spider-Man would be totally cool. What else? Oh, going back to anime, how cool would be a TMNT Dragon Ball crossover? The Turtles teaming up with Son Goku, Vegeta, and so on and so forth. And like I said, with the Street Fighter crossover, they're training with each other, and the Turtles, they're really able to master the Kamehameha and all the other stuff. That would be, I would love this. This would be a dream come true. As an old school Dragon Ball fan that I am. And what else? One more thing. Yeah, as I said, I would go the Mortal Kombat route too, but what else? Yeah, hey, I mean, while we're at fighting games, why not throw in Tekken there also? Tekken was also Tekken 3 was a game that I, as a kid, played I don't know, hundreds of hours. I was really in love with the game, and there's some really fun characters. It's got a wild story. It's got some cool action moves and characters. So that would be, I think that would also work. But I gotta say, as you said it first, if I had to decide between Mortal Kombat and Tekken crossing over the Turtles, I would also go the Mortal Kombat route, because that would be just bloody fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that crossed my mind too, Tekken. I'm I do like King in that game, but dude, we could probably, we're gonna end this show very shortly, but oh, dude, you got me excited now when you mentioned Punisher, Casey Jones and Punisher. Casey has his own series now. Just imagine those two, just them two. You don't even need the Turtles involved in that. How crazy would that be?
Perfect.
Yep. Oh, guys, well, that's going to do it for this episode here. We have a lot more crossovers to cover in the future, but I have some great news for you guys if you've made it this far. Our good friend Christian right now is breaking down most of these current crossovers. Power Rangers Turtles 3, Turtles Godzilla. Christian, where can they find you to get more comic, reviews in depth too? A lot more than what we covered here today.
Yeah, I really try to keep up with the current comics and all the crossovers and all the miniseries and all the specials that are currently coming out in the TMNT comic world on my podcast, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Talk, that you can find on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and pretty much everywhere else. Or just check out my website, tmnttalk.com, where you can find all the episodes and also all the social media stuff like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also the Discord server where every TMNT fan is welcome. So yeah, come on, check it out. Come on over.
All right, dude. Well, until next time, I can't wait for the minute the final issue for Power Rangers Turtles 3 drops. We're doing, as long as you're available, we're doing that show immediately because I can't wait. I'm trying to be as patient as I can so I can just binge them all in one read. So, as always, dude, we appreciate your time here, and until next time.
Yeah, see you then. Cowabunga.